Hi guys, here from Bulgaria. I want to tell you about the success of this wonderful country. 20 years ago, or actually in 97, 98, when I was first time in Bulgaria, it was very desperate and poor country. Then we had the courage to take it into NATO, thanks George W. Bush, yes. And thanks a lot for taking then Bulgaria into the European Union. Many were skeptical, and still today there are those who are repeating this silly line, it was too early. This is a big mistake, because taking countries into the European Union in a way early is never too early. Because inside we have the regulatory and the redistributional and the political and the security and the general framework of success. And then you see, it was always a beautiful country, but now it's a country of penthouses, skyscrapers, big cars, a metro system. And of course, you know, there are those in the EU, in Germany and in France who are bad-mouthing Bulgaria and talking negatively about it. But you know, when you look around, skyscrapers, expensive cars, you know, the flat tax, of course, of 10% have helped, big shopping centers, and of course, you know, there's people leaving, and you know, there is always this debate. But there is FDI coming, there is economic growth, and of course the country is far from perfect. I really don't know any perfect country. Over there is Billa, by the way, the German chain, so there is a lot of positive development. The city is vibrating and is economically amazing. It's 25% richer than Serbia, and let's never forget, here I have to remind everybody how poor Bulgaria was. This was with donkey cars here in 97, we are talking 25 years ago. And then they had the peg to the euro, which today they still have it. And they have reached now 25% more than reached Serbia, which was in 1990 much more developed than Bulgaria ever in the history before. Because Yugoslavia was of course more or less an open economy towards the West, because it was a secret Western ally until Milosevic turned it to the East. So here we are in Bulgaria, and we are at $13,000 GDP, and we have really achieved a lot. And then some come and say, oh, it's not enough, it must be better. Where is all the things? Here's the tramway, looks good. There's a subway here. Of course, you know, the highways are not finished and the railways must be invested. Why we didn't do it? Why is not in Eurozone? It was a big mistake that we waited so long. Why is not in OECD? Why we put the EU members not in OECD? What is that kind of crazy concept that they have to wait in order to be in OECD? Of course, such a regulatory additional framework would have helped, but we waited. Bad. And why not in Schengen? Obviously, it's easier with free travel and with open borders to create prosperity. Obviously, it's a cost when you have logistically a border between Greece and Bulgaria, between Bulgaria and Romania. Obviously, it would have been much easier to have 3 more bridges. In 20 years, we cannot build 3 bridges. We cannot build a better connectivity in the highways towards Serbia, Romania, and towards Greece. On the railways, we cannot do that. The Chinese have done it in the last 20 years. It was us, the Europeans in the West, who have underinvested in Eastern Europe, and then we complain that Eastern Europe is not developed. Do you think that the poor parts of China have invested in the high-speed railway themselves? Do you think that Arizona or whatever, Wyoming can pay the new infrastructure alone? Obviously, unions depend on redistributional factors of union-wide pooled resources to also develop the periphery in terms of infrastructure, but that is how prosperity develops, because these regions also have something to offer, and when you connect them with decent infrastructure, obviously that works. And this we have failed. We have failed in the neglect of the enlargement completion in the Eurozone, OECD. We have missed the opportunity to build all these highways and railways because we are greedy and we are not a complete union up to now. And Bulgaria is the best example. And then we say, we need to build a wall in Bulgaria. You are really... this is anti-European, nonsensical. Obviously, we need to do the borders decent, but obviously we need also to invest reasonably. And when you see what has happened despite our reluctance to enlarge our key institutions, it was very big success. And the logic is that this same can be done for the Western Balkans, and the same can be done also now much faster to complete the unification in the Eastern Balkans. And we will all benefit in Europe from more unity against Russia and from the prosperity and from the decent living standards. And then not everybody has to live in Frankfurt, or in Vienna, but people can also have a very good life here. And it's actually a very nice city here. I like it, Sofia. And what we see that here the problem is, of course, too much centralism. That's a problem in Bulgaria. The more eastern parts are and the northern parts are much less developed. But here, of course, federalism is the answer. We need to decentralize, federalize, and have regional economic development European style. For this we need also more budget and more infrastructure. Yes. And also political reforms. Yes. Everything has two sides. Obviously the Bulgarians and the Romanians can also do more. Not just to recognize Kosovo, but also to overcome the internal fragilities and this threat of separatism, which especially in Romania leads to them thinking that they don't need to decentralize because they are afraid of Hungarian irredentism. And when you see Orban's activities, you can really understand that. But this is again, Europe has allowed Orban to do all this, and then the consequence is a less regional development in Romania and partly in Bulgaria. Not good, Europe. Anyhow, this is so far the moment, and I can just applaud this wonderful country for its progress. They have done so many things right, and we should reward them much more for that. Thanks a lot. More to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.